Hello, everyone, and welcome in. Happy Sunday evening. It is Week 4 Reaction Recap Sunday. College football conference play in full swing. We've got all the latest for you. Our takes, our ideas, and what to take away from a wacky week number 4. My name is Bryce Koon. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you on the other side of this amazing song from the bowels of Ralph's larynx. Right after this.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. The crowded booth is coming on. The Crowded Booth with Bryce Koon.
Welcome in, welcome in. That's Ralph's bowels.
Nope.
You don't want to know anything about Ralph's bowels.
All of it wrong. All of it was wrong.
All of it was wrong. Will's got a new mic. He's here tonight. Will, how are you're braving the look at that. That's how you know you've stepped up the podcast game, by the way, when you bring out the Shure MV7.
I've only had it for about a year and finally figured out how to get it to work.
I'm pretty sure I shipped it to you right after Addie was born. So it's a little over a year. Yeah, that's crazy, Dev. Colonoscopy cam. If you'll subscribe, we'll do it. Ralph will try anything twice. So
Nope.
Ralph's only said 4 words, and it's all been nope. On the show tonight. Like, subscribe, hang out with us here on a Sunday evening. We got college football conversation rolling right along. We're going to talk about a couple of games. We're going to talk about some winners of the weekend. I guess we'll touch on Indiana. I guess we need to put some respect on what they did. But Will, how are you braving just the? I guess it's a nice little head cold you got going on. What's the status?
I mean, brought on by just the atrocious officiating on Saturday. I mean, it just made me sick. As you can hear, I am extremely congested and it just horrendous work by the SEC on Saturday.
3 minutes and 5 seconds into this thing, I told Will, I said, "Hey, we'll talk about this," and I asked, but it's my fault. I teed it up for him. Ralph, did you have any wings today?
Did not. I had them last night, though.
You did? Were they buffalo wings?
They were Caribbean burn, homemade Caribbean burn wings.
But were they buffalo wings?
Yes.
So, did you have to go to Buffalo to get them?
No.
Who did go to Buffalo this weekend?
The Troy Trojans did.
How did that?
Can we not talk about that?
21 unanswered. Got a road win.
Look,
only one this year.
Troy won that game?
Yeah,
Troy won the game. It was 14-0 in the fourth quarter.
The man that was formerly known as the terrorist won the game for the Trojans.
So not only was Auburn robbed, but Will personally was robbed too.
Look, man, I got wild last week. I don't want to hear it.
Did you win your best bet, Ralph?
Yes. I won in overtime.
Wait, so we're all tied again?
All that crying just to be the only one that won. Can't make it up.
Make up week from last week. I didn't deserve to get killed by the hook, and I bounced back.
But you know who didn't cover?
Georgia Tech.
So I think that means Georgia Tech has to take Jeff Collins back. Sorry, I don't make the rules.
I thought you said it was the winner.
Oh, yeah, you said the winner of the game.
Yeah.
Look, listen. It in the Georgia Tech sphere, it is standard operating procedure to move the goalposts. Okay, so that's I'm gonna take that liberty here tonight.
I like it. AP poll dropped today. So
Do not
non-ball
care.
knowers,
I talk about it.
non-ball knowers just out in full effect. I heckled one of the AP voters in the press box last night.
Do it again.
We had a
Please
conversation.
do it.
I don't know if he'll watch this. He did mention he might if I make a comment about it. The Scott says the refs had 23 and a half. The question was posed to look at Dev, new member. Appreciate you, Dev.
There he is.
It gifted 5 last week.
Gifted 5 last week. We got a new member there. Let's see the cam. He wants to see the colonoscopy cam, Ralph. So are you down?
No, I'm not down.
Or is it going? It says it's going up. Or are you up?
No, absolutely not.
Why not, dude? Homemade colonoscopy cam from Ralph.
God.
I don't think Bryce knows what it is. I'm concerned.
After today, Ralph, I'm not sure you know what anything is. The
No, I already
reading
told you.
comprehension and the listening comprehension was brutal today. But he did go 33-6 in a COD search game, so I will give him credit for that. Needed to go
Sick
touch
invite, fellas. Sick invite.
Yeah, sick. That's you. Sick. I don't
Hilarious.
know if you were home or not, actually.
This is crazy. I'll do anything for $3 once. That's worse.
I've done a lot more for a lot less.
6 minutes, 35 seconds. Let's roll, baby. All right. I guess we're live now, so it doesn't matter. All right. Will is we're going to talk about it. Ralph's pumped. Troy's what, 2-2?
2-2. Losses to Memphis and Clemson.
I mean, that doesn't look too bad, right?
It's better than I expected to be. I mean, I thought they would probably lose to Clemson and Memphis easily. I also said they'd lose to Buffalo.
Any comments, Will? From the looks of the profile picture, I think that you could take them one-on-one.
So myself and other Auburn fans this week learned what Texas fans have been shouting from the rooftops since Texas and Oklahoma joined the conference. When everybody was trying to make fun of Texas, they said Oklahoma fans are worse than us. We found out. We found out this week that is 100% the truth. Just crazy things have been said all week long.
Auburn goes to A&M this week.
And they'll probably lose by 3 scores because they're playing a team better than Oklahoma on Saturday.
God, I popped into Will's live stream last night. Couldn't hear a thing because got the band playing neck up 42-10 against Southeastern Louisiana School of the Blind. And
I mean, read the room, people.
Just read the room. I mean, what are we doing here?
I mean, was it not the fourth quarter? Were they not cranking
I don't
out
even know
Garth
what it was.
Brooks?
I don't know. Gavin felt targeted during that.
Apparently, he hated that song.
Dev says this: betting on the CW against the spread is a better consistent bet than ESPN, FPI, or SP Plus. Dev, I'd rather lick. This is crazy.
Whoa! Wait a minute.
I'd rather lick the inside of one of my daughter's diapers than to consider FPI anything rational.
I mean, I feel like Hugh Freeze over here. I'm begging for a timeout, and I'm just getting ignored.
Welcome.
You going to run an illegal play now?
This is professional. We're
Should
keeping
we
things professional.
Restart it real quick.
Yeah. So
Look, if other people would hold up their end of the bargain and be professional, it'll be easier for me to be professional.
There you go. It's got to be illegal. Well, who knows? Just brutal weekend in the press box media meal, by the way. Brutal weekend. We're going to Oxford next weekend. I'm not too bullish on their media meal to begin with. So, did hear Auburn. Inside sources have confirmed that Auburn's media meal this year is 10 times better than the whatever they've been serving for the past 15 years. Those sub sandwiches from the gas station down the street.
I was informed that the first home game was going to be Chick-fil-A, and that majority of the games will be Chick-fil-A.
I mean, you can't hate on that.
No.
I will say I'm excited to go to Tuscaloosa because they had like this catered thing.
I feel bad for you if you're feeling excited about going.
Well, I'm staying in Homewood, the house that Maxwell Josephs built. So that's where I'm staying for that game. Did they give y'all Jersey Mike's or something? You know, that's a hilarious story, Deb, that you don't even know the full extent of, but Jersey Mike's is legit. Don't hate. Best sub sandwich there is. Let's talk football 10 minutes into this thing, fellas.
God, you almost made me get political.
Oh, jeez.
Auburn will be okay?
No, Auburn. You didn't watch the reaction last night. Auburn is. I'm already writing it in ink. I'll write it in blood that Auburn is going 3-3. Auburn's going to start the first half of the year 3-3. You have derailed the show. I am taking no responsibility.
We'll have a crash show. Oh, jeez.
He did warn everybody that he was going to have a crash show. He did warn everybody.
Auburn might not make a bowl game, but we'll get to that later.
We'll start in the hot seat board already. Drew Cronick, number 1.
Number 2.
All right, number 2. Apologies. All right, let's talk football. Let's go first off talking about crash outs and talking about just a deep dive, nosedive of a program. The Dabo dilemma. What is happening in Clemson, South Carolina? Let's also give props first off to Fran Brown in Syracuse. Back-to-back years where obviously it kind of does, it really does stink that Angeli is going to be done for the year. He was well on his way to being one of the top passing quarterbacks in the country this year. That's obviously something that doesn't seem to be fluky, by the way. Like whatever they run systemically up there is working for them. Yeah. So Angeli goes down. Ricky Collins, who literally grew up 30 yards from where I live, former LSU quarterback, he just stepped in, threw a touchdown pass, is going to be the guy. If you recall, Ricky Collins was named the starter coming out of spring football before they went and added Angeli. So hats off Syracuse. Fran Brown, did you guys see that stat, by the way, on Fran Brown? He's 13-4 since he's taken over at Syracuse, has really turned things around there in a short amount of time. So hats off to Syracuse, what they've done. Won 10 games last year. Hey, and in a wide open ACC, who knows what can happen. So all that being said, hats off to Syracuse. We're going to give flowers where flowers are due to the winners. But Clemson's in trouble. And so, I had this clip pulled up, and so it's okay. But Dabo Swinney, to some people, looked like he was pretty maybe crying on the field post-game, was emotional in the post-game press conference. The second part of this is that Cade Klubnik was quoted in saying, "We have all the ingredients. We just can't bake the cake right now." I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. First off, that's what he's going to say as the quarterback of the team. He's not going to throw somebody under the bus. Completely respect that. I've watched this team in person once. Ralph, me, you, and Gavin watched this team to the full extent, and Will did as well, last week against Georgia Tech. And, we kept tabs on this game this weekend. And, Ralph, you've watched them now 3 weeks in a row, in terms of the Troy game. They don't have the ingredients. They do not have the players needed to be a championship level team, and that's a shame on us as college football, podcasts, as media, because come next April, they're going to have some individual guys taken in the first 2 days of that draft along that defense. It's going to happen, regardless if you think they've earned that right this year or not, based off of potential. Will, you've stood on the soapbox a lot about this. People get mad at the NFL draft. It's based off potential, not necessarily production. They've got some guys that are going to project well at the next level. For whatever reason, it's not working right now at the college level. It's not working this year. Cade Klubnik has looked a shell of who he was last year. And people are going to want to take their pot shots, and I get it. Like, it's fun to make fun of Dabo. It's fun to, poke fun and poke holes in what he does. Last year, Cade Klubnik had a good season. And so you just would have thought that, hey, he's going to probably at least be pretty solid. It's been bad. They don't have elite wide receiver talent still. They do not have guys that can create elite separation. I said this going into the LSU game, first game of the year. My worry was their team speed. Their team speed wasn't nearly on par with what LSU could do. And this is no disrespect. It wasn't on par with what Troy could do. It wasn't much better than what Georgia Tech could do. And those are two teams that do not have elite team speed in terms of what they put out there on the field. So that comment from Cade Klubnik, we have the ingredients, that's the PR right answer. The truth is they don't. And you can pin it on lack of portal, lack of development, whatever you want to pin it on. I saw someone commented on our show last week saying that it's been smoke and mirrors ever since Tony Elliott and Brent Venables left. Whatever you want to say here, I'll hand it off to, Will first. I don't think they have the people in that room to be a top-end title contender. They can be very good in the ACC, and so maybe it is a little bit of smoke and mirrors when you play in a conference that doesn't necessarily consistently have the depth that the Big Ten or the SEC do. Maybe that's where we've kind of just elevated Clemson to a point of where they're not really that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, they're not a championship level roster, at least offensively. The talent's not there. But like you said, I think they're still gonna they're gonna finish this year strong in the ACC. I believe that. I think they have enough talent to do that. I mean, they still put up 500 yards of offense on Syracuse. They just couldn't score. Yeah. And a lot of that comes down to not having game-changing talent on the offensive side. I mean, they don't have a running back. We've talked about it many times. They're playing a converted wide receiver at running back. They finally got Antonio Williams back in this game, and he was held pretty much in check, just 49 receiving yards. So I think Clemson will finish the year okay. I mean, I certainly think they'll make a bowl game, but a 1-3 start is horrendous. The schedule doesn't get a whole lot easier for them, but I mean, there's still winnable games on their schedule. But it's just when you're throwing the ball 60 times, you're probably not going to beat a whole lot of people. I mean, even air raids, they don't throw it 60 times because at least, one out of every 10 is probably an explosive. Clemson just can't get explosives because they don't have game-changing talent on the outside on offense.
Ralph?
I watched a good bit of this game, at least for the first, 3 quarters. I was very impressed by Syracuse. You said it best there. Hats off to Syracuse and Fran Brown, their program, because he's doing something right there. And this team plays 100% behind him, and I love it because it's a guy you can watch and enjoy watching. And it shows you also if you watch the post game, not in the post game press conference, but on the field press conference with them. Peter Woods, T.J. Parker, and I forgot who the other one was, walked over to Fran Brown and shook his hand, congratulated him on a huge win. That's respect for the guy who beat you. Mm-hmm. But with Clemson going right now, if you were to not watch this game at all and sat there and looked at that stat line and saw Club McFadden for 363, 3 touchdowns, and then Randall ran for 130 and no touchdowns, had 8 yards per carry, you would have thought Clemson must have won this game. If you watch the performance, it's a completely different story. He was 37 to 60. They got some lucky balls downfield, and it wasn't very consistent. The offensive play calling wasn't really there. Defense was horrendous. No pass rush, in my opinion, on this team. It's just T.J. Parker's had some good plays in this game, but it's the non-consistent defense. I think Wade Wood, as I said, at least said it last week, said the week before, he's not good. He's played terribly all year. He's hindering this defense right now. He's just a slow linebacker, and I hate to say that because the guy's probably really talented in certain aspects of his playing style, but he's not helping Clemson out. And I think Dabo needs to step up. I know he's addressed the media last week, and he's taken a lot of shots for it. And I stood there and I said here last week, I said it's warranted. I mean, the guy has been here for so long, has been so successful, and you're finally mad at him for having a bad start. But now it's looking worse because you got beat this past weekend. If you go out and beat Syracuse soundly, I'm like, you know what? Everything he said last week, just put it out of the way because he just went and won a game finally. But now it's a little worse.
Well, and you'd probably chop it up to the point, too, that, hey, you played an LSU team that's got a really good defense, kept you in a box, and you played a Georgia Tech team that, we talk about that being an upset. I think anybody who just didn't pay attention to Vegas lines and box scores could have told you, hey, I think Georgia Tech could win this game. We all 3 picked that game that week. Like, that didn't feel like something crazy that had to happen. I think this, this is, and we'll put a bow on it here with Dabo and Clemson and where you want to go with this. I don't think that we're at a point where you have to consider firing Dabo Swinney. I think that's a bit reactionary to what's going on. But I do think that there has to be some type of, and this is a word that I know is going to trigger Will, accountability inside that football ops room with what's inside of that building in terms of what you have going on there. Because if you're Clemson, let's just call a spade a spade. You have a prime opportunity to be a consistent top 4 team in your conference with relative ease every single year. You're going to be recruiting I don't want to say head and shoulders, but you are going to be probably recruiting head and shoulders above most of the programs in that conference. You have an opportunity to do that. You should be able to compile some of the best coaches in the country on that staff. We talked about this last year, Will. We loved the addition of Matt Luke. That offensive line for Clemson's nothing spectacular, though. Like, they don't have – you hit the nail on the head. They don't have game-changing players on this roster. And that's something when you go back to Clemson 6, 7, 8 years ago, they had that. Like, not just at the quarterback position. They had some skill talent that was able to do those types of things. They had defensive players that were game wreckers. I mean, I don't think any of the three guys that are probably going to hear their names called on day 1 or day 2 next April, I don't think any of them have been massive factors. Any of them. Peter Woods, TJ Parker, I will give some respect. Will Helt has played pretty well. He played really well in that Georgia Tech game.
Did he get hurt yesterday?
I have no idea.
I think he came off the field, I think, early in the game, but I don't know if he had a return or not. So I'm not entirely sure. I know he was having a good game, though.
Will Helt's been pretty good to that point. They don't have the talent level to roll the ball out there. And I say this a lot, too. You could probably make a list of things, Ralph, that I say and use a lot. We're not doing phone booth this week.
Thank God.
But there's certain teams, and you're starting to see, that can't just roll the ball out there and beat somebody. Clemson's in that spot. The talent gap isn't as wide as it was 2-3 years ago. That's a credit to other teams getting better, but it's also a credit to it's also due to the fact that Dabo Swinney hasn't truly embraced the portal, hasn't truly done some of the things. They have got to figure this out. I'm going to tell you one thing. They're not going to fire Dabo Swinney this year. Well, maybe you agree. Garrett Riley's going to be the scapegoat for the problems this year because Tom Allen's not going after this season. They're still going to be decent defensively. Garrett Riley is – I would say, he's a dead man walking right now. Like, unless something completely happens in a complete 180 turnaround, they're going to go find a new OC, and that's going to be a breath of life, a breath of fresh air for at least this coaching staff for the time being. So, putting a bow on Clemson, it's a dilemma. It's interesting. It's going to be very weird to watch over the next couple of weeks because it truly has blown this ACC race wide open. You have to consider who's at the top of the conference now, who's got a legitimate shot. We'll talk about them later in the show. Miami's obviously up there. Georgia Tech, Florida State, Louisville's up there. Syracuse, I guess we got to put them in that type of, thing there as well. So we will see what happens. I'm excited to kind of see what happens, and we'll go from there. Will, you shaking your head at me? You shaking your head at Mr. Lemon?
At the comments, I don't think people watched the same game that I did because I've had several people that are not Auburn fans try to tell me, oh, it's going to be okay. You lost to a top 10 team. They're not a top 10 team. Their offense is mediocre at best.
This guy's just being nice.
So we're moving on to
Auburn.
Auburn.
I want nice. I want wins.
I want Auburn and outlasting Auburn. Ralph, I just got done with a show where we had some fun. I had to mediate a fun conversation. So I think I'm about to maybe walk into the same conversation thing here. That comes with the territory. Oklahoma outlast Auburn. Will, you talked about it for about 30 minutes last night. We're not going to make you relive that whole thing. I went back and watched some of the game tonight. I went back and watched the game, condensed version of the game this afternoon. Am I allowed? Well, let me ask you this. I am allowed because it's my show, but can I lay on some of the positives first, and then we can get to the negatives? Is that okay?
What's a positive?
Oh, geez.
I'm looking at the stats and don't see a single positive.
Cam Coleman's a good football player.
Yeah, if we have a quarterback that can get him the ball.
Okay, so that's a positive. I think Cam Coleman's a good football player.
Only had 3 catches. 7 targets, 3 catches. Got to be better.
I'll say this too.
Why does Eric Singleton have more targets than Cam Coleman?
This is taking the pin out of the grenade and then running away. Well, I don't think I hear you in your frustration. I'm not gonna say I get it. I hear you in the frustration. I understand where you're coming from. A lot of the arguments you've made make valid. They're valid points. All that saying, I do agree that these close games need to turn into wins, and it needs to happen fast. Is that fair? We agree on the same thing with there? This has to happen fast. Like, it's got to – but I don't think it's the end of the world that you lost this football game because of the opportunities that you have. If it's completely hypothetical, we don't know what's going to happen next week. But if you go on the road and you beat A&M,
nope.
If you do it, I feel like God, I'm trying to tread lightly so he doesn't just blow up. I feel like you can look at an Oklahoma game and say, We missed opportunities, but we know these things are correctable things. It's not a roster deal. It's not we don't have the players. It's not that we can't do these things. It strictly comes down to execution, better coaching from a program as a whole. It's just about being better. It's not we don't have the guys in here anymore. So to me, because I don't know if you had the guys last year. I don't think you did in terms of especially the quarterback position. You definitely didn't have the guys 2 years ago. So is Auburn really that far away in terms of being able to win this football game? Because I don't think you were. I think you probably should have won this football game. And we'll get to the referee thing in a second. So I don't want to touch on that, but just your thoughts.
Well, first, you can't put it on the referees when you have 13 penalties and you can't block. And when Oklahoma rushes for the entire game with the same pass rush scheme and you don't make an adjustment. When you don't make an adjustment with getting the ball out quicker, you don't make an adjustment with getting receivers open. It's a coaching problem. It's a coaching problem, bar none, hands down. And I've said it since the spring that this Auburn team will succeed in spite of the coaching staff. That is how this team will succeed, in spite of the coaching staff. You can say Hugh Freeze has his pedigree. He's won 10 games everywhere he's been. But here's what I ask you. Where's his conference championships? Where's his bowl wins? I mean, where are they? This is a guy that can turn over a roster. He's a great recruiter. There's no question about it. He can get his teams up for most big games. I feel like Auburn, the offense was not up for this game. I mean, Oklahoma did a lot of good things. I'm going to give a lot of credit to Oklahoma. They were better where it mattered, on the lines of scrimmage. That's where it matters. Oklahoma was a better team, better players, better scheme, better execution, better everything. That's how they won this game. They're better on the lines of scrimmage. But all that I have heard from the little I've heard up until this week from Oklahoma fans is just pure negativity about Brent Venables, that he can't coach, he doesn't know what he's doing, and Hugh Freeze got flat out outcoached by Brent Venables on Saturday. Flat out, bar none, just beaten like a redheaded stepchild in the coaching department. Because Auburn, it looked like they made zero adjustments. They tried nothing different, and it cost them. And it's why when Auburn takes the lead with a few minutes to go, they just withered and faltered. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Even defensively, the defense was excellent, except for that final drive because they went soft and just let Oklahoma take 10, 15, 20 yards at a time. It's all on coach. And then the offense gets the ball and goes backwards because it's like they had no plan. They just – coaching is the problem. Coaching is Auburn's problem right now, and it's why I've said Auburn's got to win in spite of this coaching staff. It's why I'm wanting something different coaching-wise because the talent's there. There's no excuses for not having the players. You can talk execution because players do have to go out and do it, but Auburn looked ill-prepared, especially in crunch time. Like, it's hard. I understand it's hard to practice that, but it's also really disappointing because Auburn went on the road to Baylor the first game of the year, hostile environment on the road, and found a way to win. They went against what they wanted to do in that game, and then it felt like in this Oklahoma game, Auburn offensively was just going to try to run through the wall, just beating their heads against the wall, being stubborn. And it was hard to watch. And I said it all during the game that Hugh Freeze is just Gus Malzahn in a long-sleeve T-shirt. He can recruit skill positions, receivers, running backs. He's going to go get a defensive coordinator that's going to do a great job, get talent in there, and get the job done. But an offensive guru whose offense stinks.
Ralph, whatever you want your take to be here.
I need to tread lightly.
But please wake up.
Oh, apparently I'm asleep, yeah. There are aspects of this game, and I did text Will this morning. I'm not going to try to say anything that's going to ignite Will anymore because I know he heard some stuff yesterday in the group message that none of us are a part of besides him that was igniting him in a certain way. And I don't disagree with what he said about it. The things you take away from this game, I thought, like Will said, the defense played great to that last drive. I thought the defensive line was giving some push for once. I think Keldrick Faulk's one of the better defensive linemen in the country. That was proven on Saturday. I thought he had a great game. The ability to play a lot of guys up front really does show in Auburn's favor in some aspects. And Jared Smith, the true freshman, has really stepped into a role as a good second guy on the line on the end. He had some good pass rushes. He made some good plays, and he shows great effort chasing down quarterbacks that are a lot faster than him. He's a pretty fast defensive end for a guy his size. I won't go much into. I'll say this also: not having Jay Crawford hurt, and I think that showed a lot in some of the plays that happened in that game. Jay Crawford, obviously, probably Auburn's one of their top defensive backs, not playing, obviously hurt. We said it this week that he was going to be doubtful. Then obviously turned it out right before kickoff, or I guess the day before kickoff, or the day before the game, I guess. Not having him in the game hurts a lot. But I'll switch to offense real quick. I didn't like not getting Jeremiah Cobb the ball more. I felt like he was running the ball very well throughout the entire game on his 7 carries. 6 carries for 61 yards. Yeah, those 6 carries. I mean, I know one was a long 44-yard run, but eventually you got to get him the ball more. I thought you were making Jackson Arnold was holding the ball way too long, and the offensive line that was not helping him whatsoever. One of the worst performances I've seen from an offensive line from Auburn in Auburn's aspects in a long time. The last 2 years have kind of been really bad though, but in actual just pure all game long, it was Saturday, and I think it was just a pitiful performance by them. Too many penalties, false starts, holdings. It was just downright bad in that aspect. I won't say anything else really about the game. I won't go into coaching. I think we'll hit it on the head with that one. I think there are some just questionable calls, questionable things said during the game, and obviously after the game that I just don't agree with. And like I said, Will watches his team a lot more than I do, and he obviously has more love for him than I do. And if you can't tell, it's hard to watch a team like this that's so talented. And I've seen it in practice. I saw it against Baylor, that has so much talent on the roster and just can't produce a winning game or winning.
It's been
team.
5 years. 5 years since Auburn's had a winning season. Inexcusable. The last thing on coaching, forgot to mention, just being stubborn. Auburn had a lot of success, especially on the ground, running it outside, working the perimeter. It's like every time Auburn ran it outside, they had success. The Malcolm Simmons touchdown was a jet sweep, running it to the outside. And it was only a handful of plays. It was very minimal, if any, adjustments.
Couple things. I had written these down. I want to make sure I had them from the game. One thing, when I watched this, I felt like Hugh Freeze got away from the run game and wanted to go a little more pass heavy and try to play that game.
Hugh Freeze for you.
Well, yeah, and trying to play that game with Oklahoma. And look, I know it was Ball State and South Alabama. Jeremiah Cobb had back-to-back 100-yard rushing games. The guys, the term bell cow back is overused. He's physical. He can take lumps in the SEC. We've seen it. He's been able to do it. That to me was really, really weird. You talk about, the huge chunk of yards. I think Gavin just put this in our private chat. 44-yard, 44-yard run was a big chunk of that. But the group rush for what, Gavin? It's 67 yards, under 70 yards on 36 attempts. I mean, that's terrible.
That's counting Hudson Cox, just
12-yard
bizarre.
He
punted on a punt.
Yeah,
looked like he had time to kick it and do something, but he just tried to run.
Actually, he kneeled it first.
Yeah,
but I did say this to one of my friends today. It's like, hey, if he makes that guy miss and runs for a first down, we're all fired up and talking
That's
about him.
fair. Yeah.
Super athlete.
I'm going to say this, and you had a great monologue. I can't remember if you said this or not. We're going to talk about if Auburn got screwed by the refs here in a second. You can't give up 10 sacks and expect to win a football game.
Nope.
Like that is I will stand next to you and we'll hold hands and we'll put it up in the air and we'll yell from the rooftops this offensive line has to play better. And credit to Brent Venables. Shout out Matt with the $10 donation. Credit to Brent Venables, because Venables had a game plan and they kind of obviously know the tendencies of Arnold, whatever. Man, you went invested into an offensive line to be better. You got what? Is it at least 3 transfers on the offensive line this year? At least 2? You've got multiple guys. You've got an opportunity against a good defense to go out there and showcase it. You give up double-digit sacks. And I know some of those came on that last drive where it was just discombobulated. But, man, I think one of the biggest things through 4 games I can say about Auburn is I thought they had an identity. I come out of this game not knowing. And the question we're going to need to answer going forward is it because Brent Venables did that good of a job game planning, which I think there's some credit there for that as well, or is this just going to be a theme of where you don't know what version of Auburn you're going to get week to week? And with this schedule, I mean, Will, I know we've joked with you all offseason about, man, you got to be more optimistic of it. But if that's what you're going to get, you can't confidently roll into each week and saying, I know we're going to get this brand of football, so I think we can win. You don't know. Is he going to abandon the run game? Is your offensive line going to be averaging just even 6 sacks they give up a game? I mean, that's 5-6 sacks is half of what they gave up, against Oklahoma. So you're playing A&M this weekend. They've got a good defense. Elko is a defensive-minded guy. I guess, what is it, Georgia after that?
Yep.
You've got – if there's one thing about this Georgia team, you feel like you're going to know they've got some dudes up front that can get after you.
That's 2 more games that are going to look like this Oklahoma game.
We'll see what happens.
I mean,
okay, real quick, before we get to the refs, because I do want Will to talk about this, let's talk with our friends over at All Natural BS, because that's what we're about to talk about is some BS, and we need this bug spray to get it away. Make sure you use it. It's providing effective chemical-free solutions for your home and garden. It really works. It's a great product. Use it on the patio. Use it during the tailgate scene all fall to make sure you keep it safe and pest-free around what you've got going on. So make sure you use code TCB15 for 15% off your order with them today. Okay, so
pests. Football officials are the biggest pests on the face of the earth.
Great segue. Some bona fide BS. All right, was Auburn robbed? Well,
no. I mean, the call. So
where are we starting with this?
Horrendous calls. It was one of the worst officiated games I've ever seen, but Auburn still had a chance to win the game. I think the fumble return for a touchdown overturned. I still don't understand it, especially calling it an incomplete pass. I don't know what a catch is. The NCAA, whatever they decided to change this year with a catch, I don't know what a catch is. I couldn't tell you what a catch is. And then later in the game, that Isaiah Satania catch along the sideline, there was originally an incomplete pass and they overturned it. I said it then. I said, okay, let's see if they're consistent, because I watched that same type of catch for LSU at Clemson be overturned as an incomplete pass. And they overturned it and said it was complete. So I don't know what a catch is anymore. I don't know what a catch is. Dev, could you tell me what a football move is? I don't know what a football move is. Maxwell's commenting like he's arguing with me, but I just said Auburn was not robbed. But that overturned fumble that Auburn returned for a touchdown, I know it's the first drive of the game, but that completely changes the game. I mean, you give up a defensive score at any point, that's a huge momentum swing. I still don't understand that one. The illegal play with the SEC, and we've got the statement ready. We'll probably get deeper into that. It's crazy. And Hugh Freeze said after the game, he said, we were told all offseason about deceptive plays, that was going to be a point of emphasis this year. And then Oklahoma runs one. Bob Stoops says coming from Bob Stoops said on the Oklahoma radio broadcast, they practiced that play all week, which would mean they had to clear it with somebody in officiating if they were wanting to practice
or
that.
They're just not smart and didn't realize. I don't know. Yeah, like you're either dumb or you cleared it and somebody told you it was okay.
There was so many things wrong with that play, and I mean, I can't say that Auburn was going to end up stopping Oklahoma on that drive because it was a great drive from Oklahoma. They were in scoring position before that, but the fact that they allow the play, the officials allow the play to happen. DJ Durkin and Hugh Freeze are screaming at the referees, asking for a timeout. It's ignored. They don't get the timeout, and it's just adding insult to injury. And the amount of missed pass interferences just blows my mind. Cam Coleman gets tackled on the double pass play, just absolutely tackled. Which, and I would love to hear an argument because I think I know what the argument would be. As there's 7 officials on the field, you're telling me nobody saw that? I know the official that should make the call is running for his life and not even looking.
That is hilarious, though. He's not even like the slow-mo clip. Everyone's giving him grief. The dude's trying to get out of the way.
He's running for his life. Like, I get it, but and it's like if there's a targeting that is blatant, you see flags coming from every direction. So don't tell me that another ref's like, well, I want to throw the flag, but that's not my call. That is garbage. And holds. I don't want to cry about holds because, you could
Everybody
call hold on
holds,
every
dude.
play, but I saw a lot of missed holds. I think John Mateer's go-ahead touchdown run, the right guard held, the receiver held on the outside, but you could call holding on every play, so I'm not going to say holding was a problem. Was Auburn robbed? Short answer, no, because Auburn still had a chance to win despite all of the questionable calls. I won't even say missed at this point, questionable calls. But no, Auburn was not robbed because they did not take their opportunities. They basically tried every way possible to not win this game.
Real quick, you people need to start buying some BS, or I'm going to go broke paying my ads to Bryce. I also want to say this. This is great. I think you mentioned this. Could you tell me what a football move is? Every game needs to have the reviews like the ACC has now, says Matt. The Big 12 is going to start instituting that. I love it.
Never. The SEC would
no
never.
shot they would.
The SEC would play all 12 conference games before they did this. I'm going to say this. Oh, and Maxwell just says Arbuckle said we got it cleared with the officials. Well, then
that's wild. And then you turn around and make a statement. Oh yeah, that was the wrong call. It should have been a 15-yard penalty.
Which, by the way, we can't see that.
What are we doing?
That's
what
the
are we
only way
doing?
I tried zooming in. It won't work for some reason. So, I mean, I can read it out if you want me to.
No. I will say this. You still have to play the game. Okay? You still have to play the game. But it would be crazy to deny that those plays didn't shape the outcome. They didn't decide the outcome, but it's crazy to say they didn't shape the outcome. Now we'll say this, Will, on the fumble. Gavin, I was talking to Gavin because that was like one of the last plays I watched before I got in the car and headed down to LSU. To me, I don't really know what a football move is, to Dev's point at this point. So I don't really know if there was a concrete, this is what a football move is, then I feel like I'd have a more definitive statement on that. But I just kind of do agree that the call on the field should have stood because I don't know what it is. And unless there's something they're not telling us what it is, or there's not a clear indication of the rule, then maybe they know. But I don't know what that is anymore. And like you said, I mean, dude, that catch from LSU Clemson was ridiculous. There was another one. I don't remember who it was 2 weeks ago or something with Auburn. I don't know. Was Auburn robbed? No, I agree with you. They still could have won the football game. They were leading late. They could have made plays. But to act like it doesn't change, it doesn't shape the outcome would be, take your glasses off of your fan base a little bit and let's be real. That's what I would say.
Tinfoil hat time.
Oh God.
Which we know I'm all about. You know what? You know which teams didn't play on Saturday? Alabama and Georgia. Who's got the most pull in Birmingham? Alabama and Georgia. Who can't beat a good Auburn team? Alabama.
Yes, it's definitely tinfoil hat.
I'm just saying. It's an anti-Auburn agenda.
Ralph, I love you. I don't think there's anything for you to say on this. I think we're good.
No, I was going to go and say, like, I'm going to be the only one who does it. I'm going to say, yeah, they're absolutely robbed. No, I'm joking. I'll say two things. The PI call was just horrendous. I know they scored in that drive, but still, that's a horrible call. I mean, I think everyone in the world saw it was a PI. I mean, the whole touchdown thing, y'all said enough about it. I won't go any further into it. I read just a minute ago where someone said that, he gives a thumbs up to the referee. No one can see that. There's no camera view well enough where you can see that. Both coaches have talked about it. They say that it was they thought it was okay. But they won the game, so they don't really care how it plays. I think if anyone else has that situation, they're complaining too. So that's what Bryce. That's literally what Bryce just said.
You dial up an illegal play and then flick the other team off. That is just crazy. I mean,
apparently it was directed towards the officials. I saw, so I don't know.
But the thing with what Bryce just said, like, take your team glasses off for a second and put yourself in their team's shoe for a minute and realize how frustrated you would be in that situation too.
That's crazy. And the booing was absolutely insane toward the officials. I mean, Oklahoma, the plays we've talked about, that's a 14-point swing in Oklahoma's favor. And those fans were just booing as if
the only thing that was crazier was the booing and the FU chants of FU Arnold.
I don't understand.
I don't even understand that.
I don't understand.
Did you see what he said walking off the field?
You wish you were me?
Love it.
That should fire you up.
That right there.
Did you know who wasn't saying that?
I was him too. I wish I was getting paid $2 million to be a loser.
Last year, someone had that towel over their head, walk off the field every time, and didn't say a word to anybody
because he was cheeks.
Yeah, but
and he knew it.
The final thing is I want to say is they were mad about the horse collar tackle.
That was not a horse collar. He grabbed him around the shoulder.
No, I'm talking about the one that they had on Arnold. And then they got mad. And then no one gets mad that R. Mason Thomas speared next Arnold.
What's targeting? Is that not a law?
What's targeting now? Targeting is not a real. I know Bryce is the king of hating on targeting.
Targeting should not be a penalty.
I agree. We discussed this last week in the car on the way to the game. I was watching the game. I saw the tackle, and then they showed a replay. I'm like, is that not definition? Leaping at the quarterback's head, in its back of his head, helmet hits first. Is that not definition of the whole entire thing?
Here's the problem. Jackson Arnold has an AU on his helmet. That's the problem.
I won't go with that. I'm not going to go into that in that line.
I am.
I know you will, and you have the right to do it.
I don't know why the Auburn fans in Norman weren't throwing stuff on the field. I really don't. That's proven you get the call change.
I don't think anyone has an arm that well enough.
Throw it anyway.
If they had that arm enough to get it from up there down there, they need
throw it anyway. And I really don't like, and y'all know this because we talked about it in our group, but why Hugh Freeze needs to start defending his players and his team.
Okay, I'm going to say this to that.
Dude,
I get
he's getting paid $7 million. What's $250,000?
But it's the point of the PR effect of it. I get it. I understand it.
That should be good PR as far as Auburn fans are concerned.
You just want to see somebody care. That's what you've been saying for 2 years. You want to see somebody.
And I don't want to see somebody giving a head coach giving the surrender cobra on the sideline.
Surrender cobra.
The surrender cobra.
The surrender cobra.
So, you know what it is.
We know exactly what you mean. I won't say any more in the game. I said enough. I know we talked about it a little bit last night, and so
need to stop before I get too worked up and have a heart attack.
Yeah, Dad said it right.
Yeah, it's good stuff. We just spent 30 minutes talking about Auburn-Oklahoma. Winners of the week. Let's do it real quick.
I think Bryce already said his.
Who?
I thought you were going to say Indiana.
God, no. I don't recognize them. Anything? Yeah, I'm not recognizing that. I'm going to say this. I think that Miami's we always joke about who's even good. I think Miami's good. And the question for them coming, I'm not worried about them offensively because I will say this. Regardless of what Florida does the rest of the year, people are going to bag on them and say the whole team's terrible. It's not. That offense cannot move the ball. Like they are terrible. Florida's defense is single-handedly keeping them in football games. They're good. They're good. So the winner of the week for me is Miami defense, because I think the defensive, and I know I just said that Florida's offense isn't good. Miami's found something defensively, and that's the different thing about them in 2025. We talked about the new DC they brought in from Minnesota. They were one of the top defensive units in the country last year. I think in the trenches with what you're seeing is that they're pretty good. So my winner of the week is Miami continuing to win games. This could have been, and Florida's not good offensively. I'm going to say that for the third time. But this could have been the game that like Miami just screwed around, played with their food, and just had no business, and loses the game. They didn't do that. Miami's a winner for me. And then I also say this because, I got to mention them because I get a paycheck from them. LSU and Garrett Nussmeier. A lot of people bagging on Garrett Nussmeier right now. He's been hurt. I will say this, like this comes also it's about as good of a source you're going to have on this type of thing, by the way. The guy couldn't do a full trunk rotation for the past month. So you think about how that affects him.
Stand up and show us what that is, please.
As Bryce does this.
This is awesome.
Talking about LSU.
So right here, the boom, boom, boom.
All right, Dak.
I'm so glad he did that. I really am.
All right, Dak.
That was perfect.
We're gonna find out how good of a winner Garrett Nussmeier is because
it's a good one this week.
Running back is hurt, and we're talking about an offense that already can't run the ball. Sorry. Am I spoiled? Sorry. I'm being spoiled. I'm sorry.
That's crazy. Garrett Nussmeier's a winner for me. He looked good. I know they played Southeastern, but just some things he's able to do. That's my winner. I was going to say Whit Weeks too because he stood up to targeting this past week. So,
what about Wes?
Is
he a winner?
Wes doesn't date her. Whit does.
Whoever. I thought it was the youngest one. I don't know.
No, that's Zach. Is 17.
Zach doesn't know what he's doing on the football field. And it's hilarious.
He doesn't know where to get to the communications building.
Yeah.
That's what Brian Kelly said.
No, if you don't know, Whit Weeks is dating Lane Kiffin's daughter, and Ole Miss and LSU play this weekend. So
that's the big winner of the week.
All right.
Get you a rich father-in-law. Can't relate.
I'm gonna use mine. I'm gonna go with the opposite of what Bryce is going with here. I'm using Trinidad James.
Don't let me just. How's that the opposite of me?
Because you chose LSU and they're playing.
Wait.
Playing Ole Miss this week.
Wait. Who did you say?
Trinidad James.
Chambliss. My apologies.
Is Trinidad James the artist?
Yes.
Don't believe me? Just watch.
Sorry.
Go to my chain.
Clip that.
Shout out Anderson Simmons. Best walk-up song. One of the best Brave shortstops. Go ahead.
But yes, Trinidad Chambliss, great performance on Saturday against Tulane. Solidified himself as a starting quarterback going forward.
Yep.
If he's not the starting quarterback against LSU this Saturday, fire Lane Kiffin because there'd be something wrong with that situation. He's proven that he's a better quarterback. He's a better athlete than Austin Simmons. Austin Simmons to go ahead and redshirt the rest of the year and play baseball in the spring. So,
Will, how do you feel about Trinidad James?
He don't know the song.
I don't know who that is. I've got several. The number one big winner, Trey Lamb, Tulsa head coach, taking down Oklahoma State.
Elite hoodie, by the way. Did you guys see that hoodie he had on?
Great. It was great. Probably putting the nail in the coffin on the Mike Gundy era at Oklahoma State. It's sad to watch. It's been a slow, painful death for Mike Gundy at Oklahoma. Some other winners are, some other hot names on the coaching carousel. Even though they got blasted by 30, John Sumrall is a winner this week. Rhett Lashley, his name will be thrown out there. Gus Malzahn, a big winner this week.
Ryan Silverfield,
not just because they won, but just because he's going to be mentioned for big jobs. Because one of those guys is going to get an SEC job. So, shout out.
Loser of the week. Is it just Mike Gundy?
Nope.
And Sam Pittman?
Nope.
Who's your loser of the week?
The Auburn fan base.
Oh,
Illinois betters.
Good God. Did y'all see Brett Bielema throwing a fit on the sideline?
Yes.
Nope. I've said it before. I only watch good teams except for Auburn. Auburn's the only bad team I watch.
I've got a loser of the week.
He stole. Okay, first of all, Dev, you stole this off Twitter, but it's great.
Al-Qaeda.
What do you say?
Al-Qaeda. As Clemson fans are calling it. He's not the problem.
All right.
Did I send it? Did I send it in our group? Hugh bin Laden, Osama bin Freed.
Dude, I mean, I'm not talking about this on the show. So
one more loser of the week, Bryce. Cal. Cal's the loser of the week.
I mean, Cal's
got blasted. 34-0 San Diego State at home or on the road.
I got a loser of the week.
Yeah, you do. That's tough.
What did you just say?
Yep.
What is that?
It's a video.
What is this?
Let's go Falcons. Rise up.
That man voluntarily paid for a ticket to watch a 30-0 game. So Yuri, you're a loser of the week. Sorry about that. Gavin, go ahead and tag him on the socials. Tell him he's our Credit Booth loser of the week. Yeah, it's just brutal. It is brutal. Tulane's I don't know if Tulane's a loser of the week.
I mean, look, I said in the G5 show I recorded today. It's you got beat by a team that has way better talent. That's just a fact.
That's offensive.
Apparently. But
Georgia State's loser.
You want to see something offensive? Let's play the 52-second clip that's in the video clips.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
What if we want to get offensive?
You know which one it is.
I thought we were about to play the 4-minute and 27-second Polar Express. I was like, I can't monetize.
No, 52 seconds. The one next to it. We'll probably get banned.
Deb said
they don't have that type of cloud, buddy.
For picking Cal.
Oh,
loser of the week. Will continues to be the biggest loser for his state take on Georgia State. They're not good, and it's bad.
Hey,
Will's mad about it too. Don't worry.
Listen, I was wrong about a football take. Who cares? It says more about the Georgia Tech fans that are seeking out those stats than it does about me for thinking Del McGee would bring success to Georgia State.
What's another loser of the week?
I don't agree with this. I thought Nebraska played a pretty good game. They just got out. They just got ran.
Michigan pretty much did whatever they wanted to do.
Ralph, they have a quarterback who is cosplaying as another grown man on national television each and every single week. Can we just talk about that? Dylan Raiola is a loser for me of the week. This guy is obsessed with Patrick Mahomes, and it is unbelievable what he does. And the fact that he denies it. He says he's his own person. He's not. He's not.
Joe, this is the mentality that Georgia Tech fans should have.
And that's why Joe's the official pilot. I don't want to know the things he does in that room, Maxwell.
Actually, I am a winner. Successful hate watch. The Cal Golden Bears blanked 20-0 by San Diego
34.
State.
34.
It was 34?
Yeah, they ruined my parlay. Best bets real quick. We're evened out. I think we're all 2-2 now.
Let's not talk about it. Okay, Maxwell just
3-2.
banned.
We're all no. It's only been
week 5, week 0.
We're 3-1, and now we're 3-2, and now you're 2. You were 2-2. You're 3-2. All right, so the road to Waffle House still wide open for us. We need some separation Saturdays.
I should have stuck to what I said last Sunday. Oklahoma minus whatever. They covered.
So they covered minus
a back door if I've ever seen one.
Texas A&M minus 6.5.
Go ahead and get it ready.
They will win. I don't know who came up with that line because they will win by at least 20.
Opening line 6.5. LSU.
I hope someday Auburn comes
digits
across
by
this
kickoff.
and they put Will in their hype video. Like you see, Auburn had that hype video that said blocking out the noise. They should just put whatever Will says on there, and Will is the noise for
Don't
Auburn.
care about me, dude.
We appreciate you watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be live again on Wednesday night, taking a look at a big week. Big week. Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, A&M, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest. You're into that kind of thing? Exactly. Joe said going against your own team, that's a new one. Joe, it's not. I don't know where you've been because he's That's him.
Got some game managers going there. Robbie Ashford and Haynes King.
Oh boy.
We'll see you next time in the credit booth. Thanks for watching.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. The crowded booth is coming on. The Crowded Booth with Bryce Koon.